Let's go to Dr Anne Webster now, who's a Nationals member for the seat of Mallee in Victoria. Good to talk to you again, Anne. I want to get your readout first up of those massive protests we saw on Saturday in Melbourne, railing against Daniel Andrews' proposed new emergency or pandemic laws, among other things.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Look, if I'd been in Melbourne, I would have been there. There are so many ordinary business people, professionals in my seat of Mallee who have said to me how concerned they are, how worried they are. It is of grave concern that there is this overreach for power at the end of what has been a pretty well horrendous, nearly 2-year period. And it's quite extraordinary. It's incredibly difficult to understand why this burden would be placed on Victorians now. People have seriously had enough.
Yeah, and certainly there are some senior figures that are apolitical, so to speak, such as legal authorities and groups of QCs who are lining up against what are seen as draconian measures in this legislation. Now, the protests were big. They were largely peaceful. I showed earlier, though, there was some clown getting around with some gallows and nooses. There are also some straight-out anti-vax type people there, as well as those people who might legitimately be against vaccine mandates. How do you separate some of the nuttier groups from what you might seem as the more mainstream concerns? How can you get a sense of how many mainstream people are out there just worried about the rules and what it's done to their businesses and the like?
Look, I think it's, as you say, there are people who have spoken to reporters, and it's actually been reported on ABC and other news channels, which is pleasing, who are very rational, who are very calm, who are talking about what this could mean to them, to their businesses, to their family lives. And I think that, hearing those voices is actually encouraging. I've been doing mobile offices around my electorate in the last few days, and people are saying to me, I had one business owner today, retail owner, who said she's been in tears. She's just so over this whole experience. And to have these laws is like the last gasp, being placed on us and not knowing what it will really mean going forward.
Well, it's so counterintuitive, right? Because we're all opening up. We're all so pleased the pandemic's behind us. Most people are vaccinated in this country. We're opening up, getting back to life as normal. And then, bang, then you come in with these incredibly tough, incredibly powerful new laws.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the other issue is that this is the rules that Daniel Andrews is placing on Victorians is segregating Victorians. And, as I said, I'm doing mobile offices and people are saying to me, well, I can't come and see you. I'm not allowed to come and see you. So why don't you have your mobile offices in a park or something? A good question. And hadn't previously thought about it. But this is what he is planning on keeping in place for 2022. I mean, New South Wales has such a reasonable approach to this. Give it a couple of weeks is my understanding, and New South Wales will no longer have segregation because our vaccine rates will be where they need to be to predominantly protect the population. And those who choose not to get vaccinated at this point, well, there are consequences and that's their choice. But for everyone else, we should not be afraid. We should just get on with our lives and live our lives.
Well said, and I agree. I don't think we can. We want people to get vaccinated, but we've already got a massive majority vaccinated. There's no need to demonise those people who, I believe, make the wrong decision and don't get vaccinated. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Authorised by Anne Webster, The Nationals, Mildura.